clinical trials, and they won't accept any new patients.
Meantime, people all over the country are asking why Congress gets paid when other federal workers in the military will not. Well, today, some lawmakers announced they will forego their checks during a shutdown, including Congressman Rob Wittman, a Republican from Virginia. Congressman Wittman joins us now from the Capitol building. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
First, let me ask you right off the top, have you heard anything new? Has there been any movement toward an agreement?
Well, the Speaker came and met with us a couple of hours ago and expressed some optimism, so I'm also optimistic that we can get this deal done. He talked about there being continued discussions, some points of disagreement, but I think he felt like in the long run that there would be a deal. So I want to make sure that we're giving him all the necessary flexibility to strike a deal, but also make sure that he stands strong in reducing spending. I think all of us are here to make sure we get this government spending back on track. So I'm hopeful that he can reach that agreement here this evening and we don't have to go through a government shutdown.
Let me go back to the money issue here for a second. You've agreed to forfeit your salary. For you, it is an option, but it is not an option for hundreds of thousands of federal workers and not for those U.S. service members. How do you explain this lack of an agreement, this back and forth to all of those people who may not have a paycheck?
Well, it's unconscionable. We have to keep in mind what our military families are going through. Their loved ones are downrange, putting their lives on the line for this country to preserve our liberties and freedoms. We have to get the job done here and make sure that those families and their loved ones are paid. I mean, it's critical. We want to make sure across the board that we don't lose sight of who maintains the freedom and liberties that we enjoy and making sure that this Congress here can function. It's our men and women downrange and the contributions that they make to this nation.
Let me ask you, Democrats came out earlier and said there was a deal that was reached last night. They agreed to about $78 billion in cuts. That's about three-fourths of what the GOP is asking for. What is the holdup?
Well, we haven't got any of the specifics about what numbers have been mentioned back and forth by either side. I know that there is a lot of discussion about where that number needs to be. I'm hopeful that we get the largest amount of cuts possible. I'm not sure what the disagreement is there, but I do know.
We've been hearing the disagreement is about funding Planned Parenthood and Title X and family planning. The Democrats say, you know, that's what this is about. Shouldn't Congress save these divisive debates and social issues for the next budget and not this one?
Well, we want to look at precedent, too, and make sure that we're doing the same things that we've done with other budget developments and other budget passage elements that we put forward in the past. So I think we need to look at precedent there. I know the Speaker is making sure that he is being mindful about how past budgets have been put forth in making sure that he's getting things done here. So I think we just want to make sure that we're consistent as we've been in the past. And some of these elements have been in past budgets, and Democrats have voted for them. So we just want to make sure that that consistency is there. We also want to make sure, too, that budgets don't get held up on issues that aren't focused on getting this reduction in spending going.
All right, Virginia Congressman Rob Wittman, thanks for joining us for that perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
House Speaker John Boehner says